Hello everybody and welcome back. I am KRX and this will be another episode working on this starter city build. Um, Again, always kind of focused on sort of planning and design and future growth and stuff. And to be honest, I'm kind of liking it. I mean, it was looking kind of Daft Punk or something going on, but I'm kind of liking it. I mean, I could see how this sort of circular center could kind of expand over time. I'm seeing how this could um, you know, be redeveloped into more of a downtown as things sort of sprawl around it. Like there's lots of room to sprawl, that's for sure. Or we could end up putting like a downtown down here, or maybe honestly a commercial area, or like a tourism commercial area here with the sort of waterfall. The industry area could definitely grow into like a port area down here. I'm definitely seeing how things could be kind of going here. And I'm liking it. I mean, we got a good amount of money. We're making a good amount of money. Population's at 3,600. Things seem to be doing well. Things seem to be doing well. I think one thing, in fact, I don't know if we're gonna get oil. I don't know if we'll be able to boost up our population enough to actually get the oil fields going. But I'm kind of already thinking that, hey, maybe we should sort of at least start sketching out kind of what that area could look like. And maybe that needs to be a little bit more exact. So I don't know if we're going to fill this in explicitly, but I do think this would be kind of an interesting area to have like an oil field or something. Was that a 1010? And this city is built completely, or let me put it that we're using mods, of course. There's always a bunch of mods that I just at this point just won't play without. But the city itself is actually being built in a way that would allow someone to load the game even if they didn't have any mods. So that's totally an option. This is just a vanilla map with vanilla assets and none of the mods that are going to sort of affect sort of the simulation or the balance or anything of the game. Kind of an interesting connection point. It's weird that they didn't want to actually connect there. We have something there that's kind of being annoying. We have the node set. We do have node stepping on. Sometimes you don't have that on. You get that little hiccup there. That's actually looking like an interesting shape, though. It does feel like to me that this would need to come over here and grab this other area of oil. But I think this is kind of working here. Maybe this would sort of, I don't know. I'm not sure how we would sort of grab in the remaining element here. This kind of, actually, let's just start going with the terrain. It's just, when in doubt, just kind of go with the terrain there. This would be neat if this could go straight, but I think we're going to get an issue with that road. We might be able to clean that up, but we can see there's a nice little bend right there with that steep rock. And then we could just kind of use move it to maybe just give that a little bit of a pop and kind of clean that up a bit. Maybe from here we could do a road that sort of keeps hooking around and sort of nestling the oil, which honestly could then sort of tie into here, where this could kind of swing around and sort of cuddle the oil patch right there. I'm actually liking how that would look. And then this could swing out, go wide. We could have this road, heck, maybe it even look like this road gets redesigned to go up here, down here, and along that back route, which this could then sort of hook through, and this could swing in. And I'm actually seeing how this could all kind of take shape a little bit. I'm not minding this at all. Not minding this at all. It might make sense to have one singular sort of strong road going through, which again, this might end up kind of piecing out to here. Also, wouldn't be bad to have that road going this way, but maybe having a singular dirt road here, as long as there's something that isn't dirt that maybe comes up to meet it, would be okay. I don't even know if we're going to officially develop this area, to be honest. I think we're just kind of rolling with this for now. But getting that sort of sketched out, I like that. That's actually kind of piecing back into sort of this sort of design where it just kind of goes out and goes straight. We actually do need more water, which is interesting. I'm just wondering, do we go in with another thing like this, or do we just raise the budget a little bit? I mean, this is going to be the more permanent solution, so might be worth doing that. We have tons of money. You know, I'm just going to move all the power out to here. And I think we're going to try to actually spend a little bit of time cleaning up the actual power network that we actually have. We don't need this anymore. These are almost adjoined. Almost. I think we could do this actually with a park or something. Which I don't particularly love the idea of putting a park here. It's not exactly like super like, hey, this is where a park would go. But I mean, parks are parks. I mean, trees and stuff here would make total sense. So that actually will get that connected, which means we could actually go through here like this, remove that. And we could, again, kind of using a park or some other service, right? Is there any service that we could maybe use out here? Death care, actually. Death care would make sense. I don't think that would hook in, though, unless we also did a park next to it. It's like, dang, how is this going to connect here? Do we I don't think we want a four-way intersection, though. But not having the four-way intersection would be super unnatural. So I think that does make a lot of sense. But having buildings off of this main road might not be good. I don't mind that little swiggle right there, to be honest. Don't mind that. And the truth is, this probably would be low density residential. All this is probably going to be low density. I mean, we're saying the commercial, a lot of the commercial is going to be up here. If this is all low density residential, then this road isn't really that scary. And we could put something over here. And we could maybe even sort of mix in a freakishly overpriced sort of playground, which might actually allow us to do some pathing through here that could look kind of neat. So I think this is really like finishing touches and stuff, right? And honestly, stuff like this tends to look pretty good. Just kind of, you know, swinging this around and bending it through and having some different sort of like kind of doing random stuff, but I think if that actually filled in with houses, it would look okay. Now I'm just wondering, okay, is there a way to make this look better and still get that same effect? Okay, okay. Yeah, which I think that's better. I think that's better, but it would make sense if this came down. And it probably would make sense if this connected through. I don't know if I'm going to worry too much about that. And you could come in with trees, right? You come in with trees, you fill all this in, it looks good. For now, though, what this has done for us is you move it to kind of scrunch that just a touch. Make that a little bit more interesting. Now what we can do is we can actually get this power like back. And get rid of all of this. As long as it sort of takes hold there. Over here, this is good. I think we will eventually want, I mean, we could put like a park or something right here, right? We could kind of hook on power-wise. If we use move it, we might be able to grab this and make it pop in. There we go, popped in. That's all connected now. So I think for the most part, we've been able to eradicate the power lines. Most of them. There we go. There we go. Much better. I don't particularly like sort of where the power lines are, where the power generation is, where the sewage is, where the water is. This is all just kind of like the nature of starting a new city in this game, right? Start a new city and things aren't going to be exactly where you want them. That's for sure. Now, really what I think we need to do in the future builds is we need to like bring back network extensions, because one of the ways that you can make these kind of areas instantly look so much better is using different kinds of roads. And the base game just is not great. Like you have this and then you have this. I mean, and it's not just because I haven't unlocked these. These are the same size. I'm talking about size of road, thickness of road, sort of general, the paving of the road itself. And this is something that it's very simple, but it's very effective to use skinny roads, like using different sort of like road hierarchy, right? But not just for like traffic efficiency, but for actual sort of design and contrast. And that's something I really miss about not having the network extensions for these builds in particular. And having a dirt road just swing into there, I don't know if that's going to feel right or not. That actually gave us a 90. We just freeball that and it kind of worked. It kind of worked for us. We are going to need more power though, aren't we? Or, sorry, garbage protection. Wow, I cannot speak. I just cannot speak. Everything I'm saying is just wrong. This is still coming in, so we have tons of industrial zoning down. This is residential still coming in, so we still have that down. We do need to think about, okay, how is this going to look? And I think, honestly, we don't like four-way intersections, but let's fix that a little bit by making them a one-way. And I'm kind of curious, okay, what's the logic on the best way to kind of angle this one-way? Because if people are coming off the freeway here, this is a larger segment, so we want them turning right. If people are coming this way, kind of want them turning right. If they're coming from their homes, though, it's not going to be nearly as much traffic as they're coming from here. I think this is how we do it. And we go with that flow, right? We're just going with this curvature of the existing freeway. And we're basically just freestyling this or estimating this or guessing. Actually, we could make that a straight road and just hook that through, because that actually would be kind of cool. Because it's like that is curving into there. Maybe, honestly, if that could come out and look good, that could be kind of interesting. These two tails. And then that could keep, actually, this could keep swooping. I'm not sure if I like that or not. Again, this is where different kinds of roads would help here. Doing a skinny road there would look a lot better. If we just kind of bring that out straight. It's straight here, it's straight there, there you go. But we're kind of getting an area in here. And I think, honestly, just doing like blocks could look good. Let's see what we can get in terms of 11s. Squares, let's see how this looks. Maybe once we get this built, we can kind of remove buildings. Or remove roads to kind of like make different segments look not quite as grid. But sometimes, honestly, downtown, especially commercial areas, I feel like having a little bit of a grid is okay. I don't know if I want to connect that there, though. I'm not sure here, guys. I'm not sure here. That's going to be more than 11. I'm not sure about that. But this is where you look at it. Maybe you go like this. Maybe you're like, okay. Like you start bopping things, you start maybe finding some different shapes. I mean, this is okay here, I think. What we could do though, we could make these curved. That might give it a little bit more character. Also kind of make things look less tight. That kind of instantly kind of brings it up a little bit in terms of the sophistication here. But now I'm kind of wondering, okay, that's really tight here. So what do we do here? Does this kind of just go off at like a 45? What would that even look like? Okay, we're starting to get some interesting bits here, though. Maybe that does make more sense if it actually goes down that way. I didn't want to have any connections to this road. That wasn't the intention. That goes there. That could maybe go out there, but then we go back and bop that maybe? Kind of just doing some random stuff here. I don't particularly love this, but I don't particularly love it, but it's not bad. We have different shapes, right? We could do like a little park in here. We could do like a big park area in here. Honestly, you know what? I kind of like the idea of doing a park here. Let's fill all of this in. Unique buildings and stuff would also kind of help make this pop. Let's fill all of this in, and right here, let's plan to actually just kind of do like a park. Looks like it is going to be kind of important that this connects through for getting the power going, at least, until it swings back around to here, at least. That's right, we don't have Park Life Park, but we can do, right, if you had Park Life Park, boom, put it in here. Otherwise, what we can do is we can just go in with like a kind of our own little park, I guess, right? Maybe a public library. Public library in the city. I like it. How much did that cost us? 22,000 bucks. We'll take it. Get the land value up a little bit. And but you kind of, you know, maybe you start over here, and I don't know. You just have a little something or other. I don't know. Right? You do something basic. But then you kind of go in with some trees and you kind of make this all pop, maybe. Rocks also kind of add a nice sort of amount of... Whoops, get my controls all messed up there. Rocks add some good texture to kind of work around. Some of these are probably all going to be too big for this area, though. That would have worked, except I think it does create like an annoying like brush area. Kind of combining these to make them seem like they're different rocks or bigger rocks and stuff. Go back to these little trees. We don't have proper anarchy. That helps a little bit, because then it lets you go to town, kind of like get cozy with the rocks. Put the trees nice and cozy with the rocks. I like usually putting the brush strength down really low so you don't accidentally double place trees, because that's something that it kind of does on its own. We could actually just brush them in, honestly, but I kind of like to be a little bit more sort of like precise about where they're getting dropped. And the brushes don't usually, if you have the brushes on really small sizes, they don't really seem to work. So not for trees, at least. Usually the brush, the tree brush here, using the extra landscaping tools here, is gonna work a lot better at a larger size. Like we can place these trees like pretty quickly right here. Let me demonstrate this. If we're on a 15, click, 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 click. It doesn't do anything. Now that's because the strength is pretty low, maybe. Even at max strength, it doesn't do anything. So we got to go all the way up to here, and even then, this is a 30 brush size at max strength. No. Whereas, you know, if we did something like this, it would just instantly really be working. So a little bit goofy there, but it is what it is. So typically with the trees, unless I am doing like massive kind of fill like that, which is great to do when you're kind of done with the city or you're trying to just kind of finish a section off, I usually just kind of like get it low strength, so I'm not triple placing the trees, because it's really sensitive on when it's on the single, and I just keep it on the single. But there we go. There we go. That's a nice little area. I like it. And we could do like a unique building over here or something. Do we have any unique buildings actually? Yeah, well, we got this fancy park. That could actually look kind of good. Ooh, with the Mall of Moderation. Got some choices here. We got some choices here actually. Wait a second. What are we doing over here? Are we detailing over here? A little bit? A little bit. Kind of that hooks into there, and maybe this sort of like comes out into there, or this sort of comes out to there. And there you go. You go back to these trees. Wait a second, guys. Look at this. We got something going on here. Probably would want to come in with a rock or two, I bet, in this section. I like kind of having the trees in clusters with opening areas, because I think the open spaces are important for, like, you know, picnics and playing catch with Fido and stuff like that. So it's usually good to have a mix, but that looks good. That looks good. Now we just need it to fill in with, right? We just kind of need it to fill in. But there we go, guys. Most of the commercials kind of like sketched out. We have a lot of potential to do industry areas, especially if we get up to, we're so close to getting the next milestone, which will give us oil industry, which is exciting. We have areas down here that I think are planned out mostly for residential, right? Residential here. We actually could easily just do up residential into this area. But this city, I think, is looking pretty good. I think it's looking pretty finished for in terms of starter cities, right? It's a good starter city. There we go. We got the busy town. We got the oil. We could definitely go in and get ourselves a nice little oil industry going here. We have a couple tiles that we could spend to kind of expand and to be able to go further out into these different areas, depending on which way we wanted to go. Lots of opportunities on this map, I think. Again, sort of, this is kind of a nice looking sort of tourism spot. I mean, obviously, this is a cool, just kind of tropical island type map. Lots of interesting things that we could eventually grow out to if we had, like, especially if we had 81 tiles or something. This is a really nice looking sort of lagoon kind of sort of bay area type thing. Probably could do a lot of tourism all over the place if you wanted to, if you had the after dark, right? If we had after dark. But seriously, guys, thank you so much for watching this starter build series. Hopefully this was somewhat, it was a good exercise for me. If nothing else, if it didn't inspire anybody, that's fine. Hopefully people enjoyed the build though, and maybe a couple people get some use out of the file. And we'll have that on the Steam Workshop. This is not going to require any mods or anything like that. However, I will mention the map theme and the LUT and some of the visual stuff that we're using to make the game look the way that we're making it look. So thank you, everybody. I will see you guys in the next one.